Hello and welcome back. So today I thought I would talk a little bit about intimidation factor when it comes to knives. If you live anywhere where there are restrictions on knives or people look at knives, as plausible weapons, personally, I think that it would be a good idea to carry something which is non-intimidating. And something like a regular Swiss Army knife, this is the Tinker model, a 91mm one, is pretty unintimidating to most people, right? It is recognized as a tool. The person who would carry something like this is a type of tinkerer, Boy Scout, handy guy, that sort of thing, problem solver, right? It is red, it is rounded, the blade is shiny, right? It has a rounded shape, and overall it has some tools on it, right? So it's a tool, very easily recognized as a tool, an unintimidating tool, and you could pull this out in public and nobody really would say something negative. Like when I've pulled this out in, children's birthdays and such, they say, cool, somebody's prepared, MacGyver knife, Swiss Army knife, interesting, right? That's the comments I get pulling this one out, right? Because it's not very big either. In school, okay, I am hovering around my 30s to give you some insight here, but I had one type of, education and then career, and then I decided I wanted to do something else with my life, so back to school it went, right? So this is is it 111 millimeters? It's the large locking Swiss Army knives, right? And this has a pretty big blade in it. It has quite a few different tools, but still it's red, it's shiny, there is no one-handed opening, and is recognized as a tool. On several occasions I pulled this one out in school when I was redoing some things and getting some more subjects so I could go to university, right? We have a different educational system here than you have in America, so things work a bit different. But yeah, this one I pulled out to use primarily, the larger scissors. And on several occasions I've lent this to co-students and to teachers because they needed a knife or scissors. And often I said, do not panic, but yes, I do have a tool you can borrow. And nobody reacted really in a negative way to seeing this. It's not really scary to anybody. Okay. In the same class, there was a girl who, on a few occasions, brought a small kitchen knife, like a small chef's knife, more of a steak knife kind of thing, in her lunchbox to cut up some fruit or whatever. And it only went a couple of times, and then she got into trouble because it was not really accepted. Still, a locking folding knife like this, no problem, right? But of course, it's when do you pull it out? Why do you have it? How do you look? How do you behave? But she was a do-gooder girl, and but it was a little bit larger kitchen type of knife. This no problem. That was a problem, right? I also at some point did some what can we call it? Like I was trying out a few different things, so I ended up in some engineering kind of thing. It was not for me. Engineering is not for me. It's not my kind of cup of tea. But somebody needed a knife to open a package for a calculator or something which they had bought, and at that point I was carrying a knife which is not much larger than this one. Okay, it's this one. It's the holdout from cold steel, right? Let's compare blade sizes. It's not really any difference here. Okay, and compared to this one, so put them in frame here so you can see, it is shorter, right? But when I pulled this one out, and these soon-to-be engineering students, they were mostly people who had gone to trade school previously, like mechanics, boat electricians, ships kind of related things, construction, plumbing, and that sort of thing. And they were all really intimidated by this blade. They were like, wow, why do you carry that? oh, that's a knife. That's a knife. Oh, and then I kind of realized like these have the same blade lengths. They're about the same size. This one and this one, which is even larger and still a locking knife. It's completely unintimidating. This is a weapon of mass destruction. I mean, you pull this one out and people think you're going to start stabbing everyone, right? It's like, oh, it's tactical looking, right? But really, it is, of course, when I put them in this order, if I do like that, it looks small again, right? So it is quite funny to me that this is very scary. These are completely unintimidating, and how people react, right? Because these are usually non-knife people, all of them, and nobody reacted negatively to these. Everybody reacted in a scared fashion to this one, right? That's the only place where I really pull it out to borrow it to somebody in public, because somebody might think it's going to start stabbing people. But it's a very strong blade. It's very slim. I carried it for quite a while. I do not carry it anymore because really I'm worried people will, freak out. But it's a small knife. Like, it's really a small, handy EDC knife. I really like the blade shape. It's a strong lock. It's really lightweight. It's quite grippy. But it's intimidating. Okay? So, and knife laws here are, if somebody thinks it's a weapon, it is a weapon. So carry something which doesn't look like a weapon and they probably will not think it's a weapon, right? If you carry a large stick and people think you will use it as a weapon, it is a weapon. That's the laws here. We really do not have any restrictions on knives other than if you don't need it, why do you have it? So you're probably going to stab someone, kind of that thing. But there is no blade length restrictions and such, but you should have a reason to have it. If you go to the Capitol at night, there is a non-tolerance now. They're like this gang violence kind of thing, which they're striking down on, so you can't have a pocket knife in the city, in the capital. I don't live there. I don't want to live there. I don't understand why anybody wants to live there in the ghetto, so yeah. But here where I live, I'm not going to, I don't do anything crazy. I'm a, outdoorsy kind of guy, does shooting and goes to university to study theology. I'm not, even though I have tattoos and shave my head and I don't really look very intimidating to anybody. So yeah, well, that's some thoughts for today. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye.